Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer, for being a subscriber. I really appreciate you watching this video. For me and for my entire team, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American. I'm reporting what I think we should all know and what we should all essentially chime in on. I'm open and I'm welcome to all of our viewers and subscribers with both points of view. This is a very passionate subject. This is definitely going to be an intense topic of conversation. This is definitely going to be all over the news media for the coming days, weeks, potentially months, and this is definitely going to be something that is going to be discussed in a lot of detail at the debate that's going to happen in less than 48 hours. So I appreciate you watching. Please comment below and let me know what you think of the content in this video. And again, my goal is to provide you with information. When the president responds, I'll be happy to cover that because I want my viewers and subscribers to understand both points of view. So let me jump in and talk about the president's write-offs and business deductions. The way businesses work is that if anything was used to further business activity, in many cases, in most cases, it can become a legitimate business deduction. For example, let's say a person, goes for a haircut. That is not a business deduction because that is something you're doing for your own personal self. So, that's one example. And again, I'm not an accountant, so I do want to let you know that if you have specific questions, you should talk to an accountant. But there have to be legitimate business deductions. According to this article, and I will provide you with the link to the article in the description section below, hairstylists, table linens, property taxes on a family estate, all were deducted as a business expense by the president, and this was information revealed in his tax return. And basically, the president wrote in his book, The Art of the Deal, I play to people's fantasies. People want to believe that something is the biggest and the greatest and the most spectacular. I call it truthful hyperbole. It's an innocent form of exaggeration and a very effective form of promotion. So basically, that is what the president has said. Now, if we take a look at Mar-a-Lago, which is the president's permanent residence, it's also a private club and a stage set, and a stage for President Trump. And the president does visit there, I believe on several weekends. And as a business, it is also the source of millions of dollars in expenses deducted from taxable income, including $109,433 for linens and silver and $197,829 for landscaping in 2017. Also deducted as a business expense was $210,000 paid to a Florida photographer for shooting numerous events at the club, including a 2016 New Year's Eve party that was hosted by President Trump. The president has written off fuel and meals associated with his aircraft, which takes him to his homes and his properties, and the cost of haircuts, including more than $70,000 paid to style the president's hair during The Apprentice, was deducted. And together, nine of the president's entities have written off at least $95,464. And so that was also reported. Now, the IRS definition of business expenses is that, I quote, they are ordinary and necessary, meaning that you shouldn't write off extravagant business expenses. It's a loosely defined standard. I just want to be clear, and it is often interpreted generously by business owners. And perhaps, according to this article, perhaps the president's most generous interpretation of the business expenses write-off is his treatment of the Seven Springs estate in Westchester County, New York. And this is a house. The main house was built in 1919. And this mansion is 50,000 square feet, has 3 pools, carriage houses, and is surrounded by natural preserves. And the president bought this property in 1996. It consists of a golf course, a clubhouse, and 15 private homes. And residents of surrounding towns, the president had big plans, I should say, when he bought the property. He had big plans when he bought the property in 1996. He wanted a golf course, a clubhouse, and 15 private homes. But residents of surrounding towns didn't want that because they felt that the development would cause too much traffic, would pollute the drinking water. So the president found a way to get tax benefits, and the president took advantage of what's known as a conservation easement. In 2015, he signed a deal with the Land Conservancy, agreeing not to develop most of the property. In exchange, the president claimed $21.1 million charitable tax deduction. And the president's tax records also reveal another way that the president generated substantial tax savings. In 2014, the president classified the estate as an investment property, meaning it was not his personal residence, but an investment property. And he has written off $2.2 million in property taxes as a business expense, even as the president's 2017 tax law allowed individuals to write off only $10,000 in property taxes a year. And in 2014, Eric Trump had told Forbes that, I quote, "This is really our compound." Growing up, he and his brother Donald Jr. spent many summers there, riding all-terrain vehicles, fishing at a nearby lake. At one point, the brothers took up residence in a carriage house on the property, and he said, "It was home base for us for a very, very long time." So for a personal residence, you cannot deduct more than $10,000 in property taxes a year. And in 2014, the president deducted $2.2 million in property taxes as a business expense. And the Trump Organization website still describes Seven Springs as a retreat for the Trump family. And Mr. Gorton, who's a Trump Organization lawyer, did not respond to a question about the Seven Springs write-off. So, that's where things stand. And the lion's share of the president's charitable givings, about $119 million of roughly $130 million in personal and corporate charitable donations, are attributed. So let me just clarify. The Seven Springs Conservation Easement deduction is one of 4 that the president has claimed over the years. While his use of his deductions is widely known, his tax records show that they represent, meaning the conservation easement, that they represent the lion's share of his charitable giving, $119.3 million out of $130 million. And so just something worth knowing. And another common deduction for all businesses is legal fees. The IRS requires that these fees be directly related to operating your business, and businesses cannot deduct legal fees paid to defend charges that arise from participation in a political campaign. Yet the tax records show that the Trump Corporation wrote off as business expenses fees paid to a criminal defense lawyer, Alan S. Futerfas, who was hired to represent President Trump during the Russia inquiry. Investigators were examining Donald Trump. By the way, Donald Trump Jr.'s role during the Russia inquiry. Investigators were examining Donald Trump Jr.'s role in the 2016 Trump Tower meeting with the Russians. So, when he testified before Congress in 2017, Mr. Futerfas was by Donald Trump Jr.'s side. And Mr. Futerfas was also hired to defend the president's charitable foundation, which would be shut down in 2018 after New York regulators found it had engaged in a shocking pattern of illegality. The Trump Corporation paid Mr. Futerfas $1.9 million in 2017 and 2018. Also written off was at least $259,684 paid to Williams and Jensen, another law firm brought in during that same period to represent Donald Trump Jr. So there you have it. I will provide you with the link in the description section below. Sorry, it's so dark. It's getting really dark in my patio and there's just a light here, but I felt this was important, so I filmed a video for you guys in the dark. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. If you learned something new, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications, and please comment below. And I look forward to seeing your thoughts. And thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.